Well, welcome. This is an extra credit elevation call. And welcome to all of you guys, the regulars who join us every single time we have a call. And welcome to Judy and William and all of our new participants. We're super excited to have you guys on board. And Elevation Call is really a coaching call for our team. We call ourselves Team Unlimited. And we work with a platform with a partner, a corporate partner called Zilis. And we've had quite a year. I think all of us would agree. It has been a lot of ups and downs, but we have made it through. And the very exciting thing is that this team has been incredibly consistent. You guys have shown up. You have helped so many people this past year. And we have really all grown in resilience. And so tonight, I wanted to talk about 2025, the new year coming up, because it's upon us. And I wanted to really kind of continue with the conversation that we had because in 2025, we really have an amazing opportunity with a 9-year-old company that we are really kind of pioneering a whole new platform within that 9-year-old stable company that Angie Thompson has secured the platform, that we are really going to see a lot of positive change. But in 2025, we're really starting with a whole health platform. And we talked about that. I'm going to refer us all to the recording from 2 weeks ago when we talked about whole health. We talked about some of the questions we have around the whole health wheel. If we have time, we'll bring that up again. But one of the things that I wanted to hear from you guys on, because you really are the experts when we talk about Zilis and we talk about the product line with Zilis, you really are the experts on that. And so my question to you guys is, if somebody is interested in whole health, why might they choose the Zilis product called Vibe as a choice for their own whole health? Who knows?
Good question.
Well,
Because
it has the 3 cannabinoids in it, Lisa, and that just touches, CB1 receptor, CB2, elevate your mood, your gut, your brain. I mean, it touches on every basis, every system, as I guess.
Well said, Jenny Todd. So what Jenny was saying is that really this Vibe product has CBD, CBG, and CBC amongst other. I think there's a total of 400 different cannabinoids in the hemp plant, but those are the major cannabinoids that are featured, and that really does activate CB1 and CB2 receptors, which are throughout the body, mind, and the soul. So it truly is a whole health product. Anybody else want to add like a personal story about maybe, hey, Judy, would you share about your story with Vibe that you shared with us in St. Louis?
Well, I was helping Lori at the voting twice this year, and I seen her in the corner, and she was taking the stuff with the drops, and I was very nosy, and I asked her what it was all about, and so she shared it, and she told me about the difference it's made in her life. It just like gave her life back to her, she felt, and so I was very interested because I have a lot of pain, so I got some Vibe. And it has really helped me. I'm not totally without pain, but I'm a lot better, 80% better than I was. And then I got to meet you and Hal and some of the other people. And I just think that I want to be a part of this group and try to help other people.
That's beautiful. Well said, Judy. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we love these stories. Anybody else want to share a Vibe story?
All right. Hey, Judy, hi, Judy. Lisa, actually, our grandson, there is a complete difference in him when we give it to him and we don't. So, with his moods are better and
he said he's not as angry.
Yeah, he said he's not as angry, but also it's been helping him in school because he's evidently having much better school days. So that's been very good. And they've thought about putting him on other medications. And so far we've been able to keep him on the natural products.
Yeah.
So, and he does Vibe and probiotics. So, and
Awesome.
they've been working
Mhm.
very well.
And so that's a whole different story, really, of the brain health with regard to regulating mood and emotions, emotional regulation, which we see with Vibe as well. Great story. We have time for one other story if anyone wants to share their Vibe story.
Hey, Lisa, we have a patient that started on Vibe and she just has a lot of sleeping issues, which are getting better. But the Vibe has helped her with her energy, to help her focus, decrease her headaches. And she had such a positive experience. She got her husband started on it, and he had the same experience. Just he could just focus better. He had more energy, and they just got in as wholesale customer. She ordered a little bitty, the little bottle, and then she turned around, she ordered a case of it, because I don't ever want to run out of his stuff. So just
Wow.
wonderful,
That's a
wonderful story.
That's a beautiful story, and I'm going to share one just because I was able to tag along with my older sister, and she had a nursing school graduation. So I got to hear from 25 women as to what has happened over the last 40 years with them until late at night. And one of the stories that were shared was particularly touching for me because a woman had just a lot of health issues, and then COVID, and then a lot of complications from long COVID, and these are advanced nurses, so they know a lot about Western medicine, and she did not have a resolution. Like she still did not have her health back, and so she was open to a conversation, and I shared just a video, very short video on Vibe with her, and she said, let me just give it a try. And so I called her, several weeks later, and she said, this is really helping me. I feel like I have more energy. I feel like this is really helping me sleep. It's just interesting that I really can tell a difference. Do you think it would help my daughter? And her daughter had hormonal issues. And so I said, I'm more than happy to talk to her. Her daughter was also a nurse. And so I talked to her daughter. They live in Mississippi, and I'd never met her daughter, but her daughter was like, desperate to try something to help her. And she was, and Carlita, it makes me think of you. She's a burned out ER nurse that was trying to get out of ER nursing. And so she was, so what we were able to do was, the mom had enrolled with a bronze package. And so she sponsored her daughter with the same package, the bronze and the topical. And so it's just, it's incredible. I feel like Vibe has been, um, a very powerful product. It's the most recent one that Zilis has developed. Dr. Todd always tells us that it's those liquid products that really cross the blood-brain barrier. So I think for somebody who's compromised in any way, the liquids really make sense. And so all of that to say that I want us to think about Vibe as the number one product for most of us with regard to whole health, all of health, resetting all the body, the mind, the spirit, in a very small amount of product. Really, a 7 ml, 2 7 mls could be a month's supply for somebody that is just starting out. I think lesser is more with Vibe. And so here's my next question to you guys, and there's no right answer on this. I just want to hear your thoughts. How many new customers on Vibe do you want in 2025? If you could just write a number down, how many new customers do you want?
120.
Jenny,
Least
I'm
100.
writing 100, 120.
At least
Anybody else?
100.
100. Anybody else? William, how many do you want? I can't see what you're doing. I couldn't see. My vision's not good with all the screens here, but the question is really just a hypothetical. I want you to write it down. Think about how many customers do I want? Because if you think about what Jenny's described, you think about what Lorena's described with her grandson, you think about the stories that Judy talked about with Vibe, how many people's lives do you want to change? And that's where we start saying 100, 120. Like, we want to be able to change the world with this product. And then the next question is, how many people would you like to enroll to help create more points of distribution. Because ultimately that's what our business platform allows us to do, is not just to have our own wholesale account, which is awesome, saving money and getting free frequent flyer points, if you will, on free product, but to really create a duplication, a paying it forward of amazing product outcomes, the ability to take a big step toward whole health for people. How many of those different points of distribution do you want to create in 25?
You talking personal or team, Lisa?
Both, either one.
Well, personal 24.
24. I like it. Anybody else? How many points of distribution do you guys want to create in 25?
think
I'd
we'd
like to do one a week since we're going to have a meeting every week.
So Carlita, I'm coming back to you on that. So 52, Carlita says. I like it.
Nice.
Write that down. Well, you guys can write that down because we're going to have an opportunity to kind of share a little bit about our goals. Maybe not on this call, but it's really important that we understand, how do we create those points of distribution? How do we actually enroll a new customer? How do we really not be that person that's annoying, that's bothering people, that's sharing this information professionally? And so I wanted to share a proposed method of planting 12 new seeds in 2025. Are you guys open to hearing about that? You really don't have a choice. Just letting you know that. That was a courtesy question. Here we go. Here it is. Okay, can y'all see my screen? And you might want to just take a screenshot of this because it looks like a lot of numbers. But this is one of the things that we asked Zilis to do as our corporate partner, is I'm going to talk through this, and then I'm going to go back to just, so if you screenshot this, you can refer to it again, but I'm going to talk through it, tell you kind of what it is, and then I want to kind of have some discussion on it. But what Hal and I have been talking about with Zilis is that we wanted an opportunity to refuel our own business in 2024 in a way that would give us business volume to translate to new product users, new user experiences, and new points of distribution in 2025. And because Vibe, in my opinion, is probably the most concentrated and powerful product for the broader population that I've seen, and we know that the 7 ml bottle can work really well to start a user experience, then this is really what Zilis has done for us. They have allowed us to buy one case of either the berry Vibe or the raw Vibe for $399.99, which is typically $200 in business volume, that they're actually doing double BV for. And we'll unpack that another time. But just understand, if you're new, we are commissioned on volume. So when you get double the volume for something, that usually means you're going to get double the money somewhere. And so what I have in front of you is, what would it cost to buy one case of Vibe? These are 7 mils. There's 12 of them. This is an estimated shipping, estimated tax, for a total of $448.36. That translates, divided by 12, to about $37 for each Vibe. That's what our cost or our investment would be. And then we have the option of selling it anywhere between $49.99 and $59.99. But when you know that you can enroll someone for $99 for two, that is $49.50 each. In order to really be smart about it, my recommendation is that we would set the price for $59.99, which is a retail price for a 7 ml Vibe. In that scenario, if we sell all 12 units, we would create a revenue stream or a profits of $271 or $22 per unit, if that makes sense. And so one of the things we've learned is having these 7 ml Vibes, in my opinion, has been the least amount of resistance to a price point that I have seen since I've been in Zilis for 8 years now. When I had a friend who was, in a lot of need, that really wanted to try Vibe, and I offered her a 7 ml, I actually charged $49.99 because I really wasn't even sure of the pricing, but she immediately didn't resist at all. And so my thought is the $59.99 price point is the better price point to encourage people to ultimately then enroll as a wholesale customer, get two of them for a little better deal at $49.50 each or $99. And then from there, we would enroll them either as a bronze with the two package, 30 mil vibe and topical, with the ultimate goal of translating to the auto ship vibe with free shipping at $129.99. And so when we had the conversation about how many new customers do you want in 2025, this is my recommendation as to a way that we can fuel the business in December to translate to 12 new seeds of either new customers, new points of distribution, or just lives changed with Vibe. And this could be something that it takes you a few months to move, or you might go faster and you can do one case every single month. But in my opinion, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this proposal for all of us as we prepare for 25. So I know that's a lot of numbers. Let's see. Lauren, I'd be happy to reach and help. 10, find 10 business partners. I love it. Linda says 12 is good. So does anybody have a thought? Jenny, I'm going to ask you because Jenny, you and Steve do a lot of retail. What are your thoughts with just the initial proposal
I
here?
think it's a great idea about, the vibe, the smaller bottles of vibe. And I'll use a customer of ours, and he's in our business networking group, and he's heard me talk about hemp for a year. And he's just anti-hemp until he started listening to me and listening to me. And so he got a 7 milliliter bottle of Vibe. He said, I never thought I would do this because he just didn't understand hemp and was so against it. So he used that, and because he then came back and bought a 30 milliliter bottle because he saw the value in that. But I think it's everybody needs to just start with that 7 ml bottle. You're right, Lisa. When you say the price, people go, yeah, sure, I'll try that. And you talk about the 3 cannabinoids being in it. There's no product on the market like it. It's a tremendous value, that 7 ml bottle. And you're right, it does last a while because you don't take very many drops of it. You just don't take
You
very many at
don't.
all. So I appreciate that graphic that you have in black and white because it is a lot of numbers. And that was a tremendous explanation of that, Lisa. Thank you for all the time you put into that. That's great.
Well, hey, thank you, Jenny. That's one of the things I've learned in corporate America is how to do an Excel spreadsheet without losing my mind. So that's something we'll talk more about that later. But thank you for noticing that I do have one little minor skill set there and creating an Excel file. Anybody else have thoughts, pushback? Whatever your thoughts, I just want to hear them.
I have a question.
Yes, Susan Everett.
So I haven't used the 7 mil size yet, and I'm using, I do Vibe, but I only do it once a day. I use the Glow in the morning, and so I do the Vibe in the afternoon. And so I don't really know. So is a 7 mil size if they're doing the 3 drops in the morning and 3 drops in the, I think that's what you said, wasn't it? 3 drops in the morning, 3 drops in the evening. Does it take 2 of those?
So I typically will tell people to do 2 single drops twice a
Really?
day.
2 single drops?
Single drops, 2 single drops, because otherwise I think it's 2 dropperfuls. Like I've had that mistake before as well. So I'm like 2 single drops. This is very concentrated. And if they're underwhelmed, they can actually go up. If they don't really notice anything, they can go up. But I've found that, and I don't know if what y'all think about this, but especially with Vibe, too much almost floods the receptors. Having too much Vibe is just, it's counterproductive. It's just kind of wasteful. So if they just take a little bit, it seems like their body utilizes it better.
I agree,
And
and particularly if they've not used cannabinoids at all before, we do this with all of our patients, we will start them with just 1 drop of that, and don't just give it to twice a day though. Just give yourself a few days and then up it, but we just say go slow.
Right.
Because we don't want them overwhelmed, just as you just said.
Good point. So Susan, does that answer your question at all? And with Vibe, it's just interesting, in 7 mils, you think about 1 milliliter has 4.25 in it. So 0.25 is 5 drops. So, I mean, that's going to last probably at least 2 weeks. So 2 of the 7 mils, it could last a month for somebody who's just using it. And the number one reason people cancel their auto ships is because they get too much. So I really like the smaller quantity as a starter. I've always felt that we should not ask somebody to outspend their belief. And so with $59.99 or $59 or whatever you want to price it, you want to price it more than 49 and a half, which is what they could get for two on. You want the wholesale customer $99 to be a good deal for them. So that's why you want to price it higher than 49.50, if you will, for that initial retail purchase of the Vibe. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other questions or thoughts on the proposal? Now, I'm going to throw a little curve. Like Lauren says, I may have to try that. I tried it for a week when it first came out and I could not sleep. Ah, interesting. But it also didn't give me the energy that Glow does. So Lauren, that's a really good point. And if you heard Gabe on one of his Q&As, Gabe is our kind of our director of strategy, if you will. And he's the one that does a lot of the product formulations with the medical advisory board. Gabe says the ultimate combination would be Glow plus Vibe, because Glow has THCV, which is the Varins, and CBDV, the Varins. Those are more, they do different things than Vibe does. So he really recommended that you use the Glow and the Vibe together. So that's kind of where you might not have to choose either or. You could use maybe a few drops of Vibe in the morning and then a Glow pack in the afternoon. So you can actually use them together, which is a really good point. But what we're looking at really is what's called a duplication model. How many of you guys have heard Bo talk about becoming insignificant in business? Okay, you guys have heard him talk about that. It's a really good point. So in some businesses, the CEO might make a lot of money, but the CEO can't take time off. So in our business, the people who are the best leaders in this business want to create duplication with a very simple system. Steve and Jenny, you guys are great at this, but at learning a very simple way of creating duplication in the market so it's not all about you, we can use a little video to introduce Vibe. We can use, and we're going to talk about how Northwest Arkansas is going to be starting to launch in January, because we have a little timeline to share with you guys as well. But in this new year, it's really important to kind of think about exactly how we want to not just start our own business, but how do we want to duplicate this in our own backyard? How do we want to start this? Because if you're just new chiming in, we have a 9-year-old company that is basically starting over again. We're starting with a new whole health platform. And I told you guys that I would share this if we had time. I'm going to share this really briefly so that Gene can put his glasses on. And so hopefully this is let's see if I can expand this a little bit. Can you guys see this at all?
Yes, it's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes, good
Perfect.
job.
Perfect. So this is our whole health wheel that my son, and I have kind of basically talked about, like, how do you represent whole health visually? And so we have really introduced, when I say whole health, what do you think about? We talked about that last week. When you look at this wheel, what do you notice? We talked about that last week. You guys said, hey, each of these areas are completely the same in terms of their size. We noticed that purpose is in the center. We made all these things that we notice. And when we came to St. Louis with Jean and Lorena, all we did was just use the wheel, and we asked people to share a memory from their childhood. Like, we really engaged with them in that way. And then we asked, what does health have to do with purpose? And we asked, what does Zilis have to do with health? And all of these are really important questions, and we're going to really train on these questions, because when you're talking about whole health, it's not what we think, is what everybody else thinks. It's like we become facilitators of how do we ask people what's important to them, what matters to them. And so a couple of the questions that Hal was suggesting today, which I thought were really good in talking about 2025 and talking about vibe and this whole duplication model, I'm going to read them to you. He said, what would you do in the next year? And you might want to write this down. If you felt better, you felt stronger, you had more energy and less pain, if you had more control of your time, or if you had a stronger cash flow, maybe an extra $500 to $1,000 or more each month, what would you do? Does anybody want to answer that?
I can answer that.
I want to hear it.
I would feel a whole lot more content if I did that all. Does that make any sense?
If you did
Just-
all of the above.
If
you
I did
felt
all of the
better.
above, yeah, every single one, everything I could do to make myself feel better, I would absolutely do.
Is that Connie?
It is.
Connie got your voice, girl. I love it. Well, the Vibe Health experience can actually help you take one small step in each of these three areas. So, are you willing to listen to how that can help you, Connie?
Yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Because you know you can't say no to me.
No, I can't.
Right, Susan?
Lisa, would you repeat those three real quick for me?
Yeah, absolutely. The three are if you felt better, if you felt stronger, if you felt more energy and less pain. And this is all about what would you do in the next year, or if you had more control of your time, or if you had a stronger cash flow, maybe an extra $500 to $1,000 each month. Lauren said, if I felt better and had less pain, I'd do all the things that I haven't been getting done because I'm tired and in pain.
Yep.
I love it. All true. Perfect. Okay, so really those are whole health questions. And what I want to do in 25 is I've for the last 8.5 months have been working with a company, we'll just say, that has brought whole health to their employee, or they're trying to bring whole health to their whole employee base. And let's see here. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing for a minute. And I'm very, very excited to tell you guys, well, it's been, for me personally, it has been quite an education to learn how the majority of the working masses feel, which is exhausted, which is hopeless, right, Jean? Which is, I had no time. Like I felt like I was leaving my house at 6:30, getting home at 6 at night, and I was hungry and tired, and I felt like somebody owned me. Somebody owned my life. And so the whole health questions that we have to ask people are very significant. And so what I want to get better at is helping translate what I've learned over the past 8 months to you guys as we launch this new whole health platform, because it's really not about what we think, it's about what we can share and help facilitate with other people, helping them find their purpose, helping them find what matters, helping them feel better and be able to move more and be able to have more time and ultimately be able to have more cash flow. That's really part of what our job is with Zilis. So what I want to propose to you guys is that we just do the 12 seeds and we take advantage of the 400 BV that comes to us from that purchase. Now, here's where I want to help you guys. If you have made a decision tonight that you want to do that, I want you to text me and we're going to set up time before Wednesday that I want to talk through how to do it, because there are several bonus opportunities And some of you guys have already started. Susan Everett, I'm going to have to brag on you. Susan spent her Saturday night talking to me on the phone. And she's already done the 12 seeds. So she's way ahead of me. But she's smart. Susan, why'd you do it?
Why did I do it? Because, well, I got curious as to I got curious as to where I was towards city. And then I got frustrated because I looked back at my report. 8 months this year, I was over 3,000 in volume, which makes you city. And the important thing about that is you get a blessing bonus. However, there were only 4 times that I actually made city. So I got curious as to what I did wrong. And so it kind of irritated me because I thought about that today, because I thought, if I had asked those questions earlier in the year, I could have done things proactively. So the place where I donate my money to got shorted $400 because I didn't have that money. I didn't react proactively so that I'd have that money to give to them. Anyway.
Gotcha. And so it was really just curiosity. And you said, I'm going to figure this out. And you texted me, and then we got Luis on the phone, and we were all having a really, it was very educational to see exactly what was going on with that. Oh, look who's here. Hal Henson.
Hey there.
Welcome.
Late to the party.
Late to the party. We talked about the vibe proposal.
That is such a great proposal.
It's a great proposal. And we're also now wanting to congratulate Susan because of her curiosity. We dived into a conversation about what is her volume, and she'd already bought a case of Vibe 7 mils. And so all of that, Susan, you are now a city ambassador as of December. You rolled over to 3031 in your volume. And so I just want to shout out to you, not just for hitting the volume, but for building the points of distribution to get there. Nobody does that on their own. And
That's true.
and so you've set the precedent for your team. You've been incredibly instrumental for us in Evansville, just on the ground floor and in your neighborhood, hosting Luis, doing things that I know that didn't sound fun initially. But look at you now. You're a strong city ambassador going into 2025. So I just want to shout out to you for that.
Well, thank you. But, the cool thing about this group is that it takes a tribe, and we have a tribe. Connie Grease isn't on my team. She doesn't, but it doesn't matter to us. We're all one big happy family. So she's there helping out with Luis. Megan is there, and she's bringing people. And so that's what I love about this group of people. And because I don't, it's kind of like we don't get all ate up over state lines. We help each other when we can. And that's awesome. I think it's really cool.
Well, you guys have all been hand selected.
It's very healthy. That attitude is very healthy, helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can't have anybody more encouraging than Connie. She's such an encourager.
Connie is,
supporter, encourager. And it's great to have that. So
are we going to talk about why we laugh so hard at your house on Monday night?
Oh,
I really, really wish that I'd had my camera in hand so I could have taken a video of the great fall. But I didn't have it. So,
I think we should
grow.
I think we should ask people to close their eyes and let Connie tell them what happened, just to kind of envision it. What do you think, Connie?
Jeff did it.
What was that?
Jack did it.
I heard you say Jack did it.
Jack, tell the story. Yeah.
Jack's not on.
I know. Where is he?
I don't know, but
Okay.
you want to just tell it real quick, just because it was very funny.
Okay, so we're all watching the TV. Was it the Monday night show that was on? And
The Freedom Call.
The Freedom Call. Thank you very much. I'm kind of laying on the floor. Everybody else is sitting up in a chair. I don't know why I was on the floor. That was a bad move. Anyway, when I was going to get up, Jack extended his hand, was going to help me, and my boot kind of slid in the carpet, and I took him down. He was down, I was down. Everybody was laughing so hard, couldn't get up off the floor. I just was wondering if he was okay. Because I couldn't hear anybody say where he was, which ER he was at or anything.
That was so funny, Connie. You were such a good sport. But we had a very, very fun time. And that was another Susan Everett hosted um, a, a live watch party for the Freedom Call when Angie did her vision and for 2025, which was recorded, and I highly recommend it. But thank you for sharing that. And last of all, I want to talk about a very big blessing for me, and thanks to Hal, because many of you guys have heard me moan and groan about having to go back to work. And January 3rd is my last day of corporate work. And so I'm so grateful that Zilis did not leave me there, that in our kind of dark moments when we didn't know what the future was going to hold, I said, you guys do not leave me here, because I don't want to have to be working this life. Right, Carlita, you and I have had lots of conversations about this. And so my commitment to you is that I want to lock arms with you and help you have the freedom that you want and deserve. And so January 7th, Carlita and I were this morning comparing notes. Linda Painter, we want you in the mix on this as well. But Carlita, tell them about our meeting this morning.
Well, I've been kind of out of the loop the last few weeks because my mother had to be in the hospital and she's now in rehab doing very well. But so it's just been with the holidays and with all of that going on, I've kind of not paid a lot of attention to Zilis, but want to have a really good new outlook for the new year. So with Lisa quitting her corporate job, and unfortunately, I still have to work my VA nurse job to pay my bills, but we've committed to spending one night a week trying to have meetings in my town of Prairie Grove, her town of Farmington, and we want to include Linda in that in Springdale, and just trying to get together once a week and see if we can't get some more interest in our Zilis and grow our little community here. Also have a few medical people, holistic nurse practitioner that we want to get together with and try to get something going in that business with her, and get together with some of our local people. I want to get my vet involved because I've bought CBD from my vet before, so it's time he reciprocated. So I've been dosing my dog every night because she's getting on my nerves, and it's working great.
Well, Carlita, thank you for sharing that. And and this is where I have seen, having done several years of remote just through the pandemic, and now kind of coming out on the other side, and then just with all the uncertainty earlier in this year, and now October 1st, we have a whole new company. We're doing live meetings again, and there's such a huge difference. I mean, Jean and Lorena, would you agree that, like, just being there live with you guys last week was just an amazing experience?
It was fantastic. I mean, we had a great turnout, and everyone got involved. You know, we didn't have the shy person sitting back in the back. Everyone talked, and it was really a fantastic time. Thank you again.
Well, we're not done with y'all.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
It was a very inspiring meeting. It really was. What y'all did to get the people that were there. You know, we had a couple of people we knew, and it was great to see them. But folks that I hadn't met before, but knew a little bit about, it was just wonderful. And the food was great. And, you know, everybody on their own. The only thing I would have wished is that we could have stayed a little longer. They just we closed the building down, literally.
Yeah.
We closed them down, and they were coming in saying, y'all got to leave. We're closing. And we were still, you know, hanging out. So
Right.
it was a good spirit. And I think I think a lot of that has to do, one, with y'all's faithfulness and just your persistence to do that over the years, which we got to accommodate. Is that the right word?
Commandeer.
Commandeer. No, you commandeered it. We appreciated it. We appreciated it.
Well, and let me say something else, just especially for people who are new to the call. You guys have been incredibly consistent in just loving on people all these months. You and then Susan Everett, who hit City, like, you guys have been able to preserve a lot of volume just by being present with people. So
Yeah, and we're really excited though. I think there's a spirit of new freedom and the new whole health mindset overall, where it's not just to focus on certain things that we've expanded that. And I think definitely with the Vibe Minis and this approach with the case approach, getting people started for under $60 on their whole health, the nutritional piece of their whole health journey, and then the easy next step. I mean, we just step them up to 99, get them on a wholesale, and if they want to go from there, so it's 59.99, whatever the number is, and you guys get to make some money, not big money, but replace what you've spent kind of money, which was always was my focus. If I spend this money, I want to get it back. And if I can make some, I want to a little on top of that, great. But what is always happening with the sample sizes is that you're planting seeds for potential future long-term customers, expanded orders from those people as customers, but also in that are seeds for potential business partners. And so for $59 spread out multiple times through these case purchases, we're back to where we actually made a lot of money. That's how we did it in the beginning. And we just really haven't had that focus. And now we do on the product side, but wrapped up in the envelope of whole health and the messaging of whole health really makes so much more sense to me today. So.
And so really in closing, I hope you feel hopeful. I hope you feel hopeful.
Hope you feel.
But we also think about it. We were talking about how many points of distribution do we want? How many customers do we want? How many lives do we want to change? We think about if everyone, just part of our duplication model was that at some point people buy a case to start their business. That is a very good way, and it's a very duplicatable way for people to actually spread the message of whole health with a whole health supplement, getting a return on their money, and ultimately creating these points of distribution, whether it's just a user or somebody who's expanding. It doesn't matter. It's just creating that ripple effect in the world. And that's what's exciting, because it's very, very achievable, and it's not a very expensive investment in someone's health.
And I'm sure you had shared with them the questions tonight.
We did.
That's great.
We shared the
Yeah.
questions.
So, it's not just spreading it, it's asking people questions, which opens up for them. It makes it about them. And that's awesome. We love that.
So end of month is the 31st. And so my ask for you guys, Susan and Carlita are the only two ones who are off the hook, but everyone else, if you want to follow this 12 seeds approach, text me and we're going to set up some time that we can visit. And hey, we've got time tonight, because I want to make sure that you guys know how and where in your organization to purchase that to get the maximum return.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't just go out and do it.
Don't just order it under your.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk with Lisa. Isn't it nice to have Lisa back? It's nice to have Lisa back.
Woo! You guys have no idea.
So the group, the Fab Four or whatever they're called, they don't even know Lisa like we know, like I know her. Several of you on this call who've joined us in the last couple of years, you really don't know Lisa full steam. You may think you do because she has so much energy, but for those of us who know her from the beginning of her Zilis venture, she just what's happened with Angie taking over the company, what's happening with this team. We get the full. I really believe we're gonna get this team's gonna shock some folks, because Lisa knows how to build and help y'all build. Now that we really truly believe we have a company that we can invite people into, and that the future looks really good. So, we don't have that question anymore. So
they have yet to see what Team Unlimited.
That's right, Team Unlimited, baby.
And we're going to lock arms with you guys. I mean, y'all have been the consistent ones. Everybody on this call, I'm ready to build with y'all. And it is so much fun. Even if you don't fall down when you're pulling Connie up. We had so much fun at Susan's house. I have fun with each of you guys, and Hal, we're going to bring
We're going to have
as much
a good
as we
time
can.
up at Lynn.
This is going to be
fun.
House. Yes, Linda and Randall.
As long as they don't feed us too much. I just get too full there.
Hey,
I eat too much food. I eat too much, Linda. You're too good a cook. You guys are just too good at cooks.
Look at it.
Seriously.
Linda Painter, January 18th. Here's another thing, guys. Susan Everett, what are you doing on January 18th?
Have y'all not talked about this already?
Not yet, not on this call.
Oh.
No, I'm going to host a party at my house. I'll have the Christmas tree down by then, so I don't have to worry about Connie knocking it down.
That's a Saturday. That's a Saturday morning. It's a important day, you know. Put it on
Like
your
9 to 11 or 9 to 12, something like that. This is going to be a product launch. It's virtual, but we're having watch parties. We're going to have one at Linda's house in Springdale, and Susan's going to have one in Evansville. So you guys think about it.
And
If you're in a market that, like, the Workmeisters might want to host one for Judy, St. Louis, Judy, you're going to be our next host in
is she on the
January.
call tonight?
She is.
Oh,
This is
cool.
her-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Judy,
I
did
need to
you
talk to you about that. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
so we're
That's
going to
awesome.
schedule a call about that. We'll let Gina and Lorena help set that. But any other
Wonderful.
thoughts or questions, you guys? We've given you a lot of information. We always love to hear what's on your mind. Any questions, thoughts?
Lisa, I'd like to make a comment. I just really, really thank you for laying this out. That Excel spreadsheet, you laid it out. Step 1, step 2, step 3. There, you did it all for us. And I just thank you so much for that. You're just a tremendous leader. And Hal, I totally agree with you. You know, just get ready, Zilis, because Lisa's coming. I've seen her in action. And I just thank y'all. Y'all are the best leaders in Zilis. And everybody on this call are so blessed to be on their team. We're
Absolutely.
just so blessed. I just can't thank y'all enough.
Jenny Todd.
So she put the spreadsheet out, but you guys got to pick up the phones and do that. So
Yeah.
I can make a
that's
spreadsheet.
well, we
Right.
love you guys, and
Thank you for always being so positive,
Yeah.
Jenny. But really, you guys, I've never been more excited about Zilis. I feel like, you know, it's taken a long time to get to a point where we have a platform that I feel excited about sharing with everyone. And I think everyone can find something for them in that platform as we spread the message of whole health. I mean, it's not about CBD anymore. It's about whole health. And we have the visuals, we have the duplication model, we have our first position product with Vibe. Not to say that you can't, you know, like Dr. Todd has a whole practice around the sleep, cannabinoids, and dream. That's great. But for the average person that doesn't have a sleep specialty, Vibe, I think, is our #1 product. And so that's what we're excited about. We have some clarity on that. So I want to hear from y'all. Let's schedule even just 15 minutes for us to strategize about how to where to buy that case in your organization. And we want you guys to make maximum return on that.
okey-doke.
Okie doke. Lots of love, you guys.
Thank you.
We look forward to celebrating the new year with you.
Hey, Lisa, I
Lorena.
wanted to say, not that you commandeered the meeting, but what I love about Zilis is we have people that have strengths that we don't have, and so that we can pass things along. And it's kind of like being not necessarily being replaced, but knowing other people's strengths and giving them where they feel like they're strong. I think that's a
Right.
really good thing to.
You know what we call that, Lorena? We call
Mm,
that a mastermind.
oh,
We are a
Okay.
mastermind group together. It's a collaborative wisdom.
Power of
Yeah.
collaboration.
I mean, and that's really the beauty. Like Deborah, like she knows things and Susan knows things that I don't know. But the fact that you guys prioritize this call and the meeting of the minds, that we can all get together and we can really share from the heart about our, you know, customer stories, our own stories. That has been the beauty of having a team like this. So thank you for saying that, Lorena. We love you guys. We're proud of y'all, and we cannot wait to strategize 25 with you.
Have a blessed New
Yay.
Year's.
Bless,
Bless-
have a
Love
blessed
you
new
all.
year. Thank you.
Everybody.
Love you all.
Thanks, Will, for being on.
Thank you, William.
Bye.
Thank you all.